Well, hello there, real gamers. Retro Rob here, and welcome to Retro Rob Plays Everything. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Atari 7800 Plus and some other new announcements from Atari. It's been a big week over there. They've got a lot of releases for them. It's like 7, something like that. But anyway, we're going to kind of go through the website, take a look at what they got, read the descriptions, and see what I think for whatever my opinion is worth. Also find out, will I pre-order it? Most of you regular viewers know the answer to that one. Let's get to it. All right, here we are on Atari's website. You can see the Bentley Bear game scrolling around up there. But anyway, first we got the Atari 7800 Plus. We got the 7800 Plus controller mega bundle. Looks like they still don't have the wire. Oh no, they do have a wireless version of the CX40 Plus. Before somebody discorrects me, both CX40 joysticks are called the CX40 Plus. One's the CX40 Plus, and one is the CX40 Plus wireless. The plus does not mean the wireless. I know it's going to happen. They got the CX78 Plus, which is $34.99, which is not bad for a wireless joystick. Same thing with the CX40. Space Duel came out. All right, so here's the thing with these, with a lot of these pre-orders at this point. No pictures of the actual game. So you don't get pictures of the game they're playing. So I have to look those up there. If Atari is like doing what they've been doing before, it's probably available as homebrew at this point. And they're just, slapping it on a cartridge and releasing it. But there's Asteroid 7800. So the first thing I do want to say about this is they're keeping the prices pretty low. They're $30, and at least the last batch of them came with a manual, which I think is great. That's actually not too bad for $30. I'm happy with it in that price range. Anyway, we got Berserk for the 7800 coming out. I want to take a look at that before I buy it. Atari 7800 Frenzy. Okay, here's a spoiler alert. I did buy this one just because I don't really care. I have no home versions of Frenzy, so I'm gonna grab that one. I might have it. Do I have it on the ColecoVision? I probably do have it on the ColecoVision. Shoot! Just blew money. Crystal Quest, which we'll talk a little bit about in a minute. Caverns of Mars. Bounty Bob Strikes Back. This is another one. I'm probably likely to grab that one too, to be honest, for $30. The Epix Games Collection for the 2600. The 2600 versions weren't really the best. I know there's some people who are really fond of them, but I had a Commodore 64 by then, so all these games were available on the C64, and in my opinion, they were a lot better. The M Network Collection is much more likely to draw me. The only thing is that I have most of these games already, so that's probably going to be a pass for me. And there's 4 games on it: Armor Ambush, Astro Blast, Frogs and Flies, and Star Strike. And they're actually good versions of the game, but it's just not my thing. And then down here we got Real Sports, which I have most of these games too and don't actually play them, so not of interest to me. There's probably some people who really love the sports games, and if you do, let me know. It's fine. Feel free to shout out, speak for your people. Bounty Bob Strikes Back here. This is one that I definitely do not have anywhere else, so I'm pretty excited about that one, so I'm likely to pick that one up. Anyway, let's go back here to the big thing about the 7800 Plus is, of course, the wireless controllers. That's a big deal for them. Hopefully they function decently. But yeah, looks pretty interesting here. You've got the they decided to go with the European style controller, which is a wise decision. Included is the Bentley Bear game, which actually looks pretty darn interesting. It is. I believe it's just a homebrew, though. I mean, I don't want to say just a homebrew because homebrew can be pretty good on the Atari 2600. In fact, there's a lot of homebrew that's better than the released games for the 2600. So, I don't mind them doing it. It's just it is what it is. Next, here's the box for it. Looks very interesting. And there is the device. I'm surprised as many people know what the 7800 is as do know what it is. I honestly thought there wasn't a lot of people out there that had one, but the more I see it mentioned, the more I see people going, "Oh, I loved that console. I was so happy with it." And it wasn't available. It wasn't available anywhere until way late. If it would have came out a couple more years earlier, I think it would have done really well. But it didn't. It didn't. And now we have what we have. I don't know what that meant. You gotta fill air, damn it. Anyway, get your pixel fix like it's 1986. Very nice. The new Atari 7800 Plus joins the ranks of such timeless design icons as shoulder pads, crop tops, and aviator sunglasses. I still have some of those. Inspired by the original 80s design, this scaled-down version fits today's living rooms and connects easily to modern TVs via HDMI. It supports both 2600 and 7800 game cartridges just like the original, and comes with a new wireless CX78 Plus gamepad, an untethered recreation of the radical controller Atari released with the 7800 in Europe in the 80s, unlike that other controller which broke your hand off. Use its 2-button gaming power to journey through Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest, the brand new cartridge sequel to Crystal Castles. And, it'll be interesting. And again, plays both Atari 2600 and 7800 game cartridges, near perfect compatibility with original and third-party Atari games. And is there anything else to say? It does have a 4x3 switch if you want to not stretch it out. It uses a USB-C charging cable, which the 2600 Plus did as well. Anyway, getting back to it, is it worth it if you already have a 2600 Plus? I'd venture to guess that this has all the patches that the 2600 Plus had over the last year or so that weren't included in the original 2600 Plus. So that's a big, nice thing, but you can patch the 2600 Plus to give it all those features, which, will bring it up to this level. So, I mean, if I had a choice between the 2600 Plus and the 7800 Plus, the 7800 Plus has the wireless, which might be nicer for modern gamers who want to try out older games. This isn't accurate because the wireless controllers will work with all the other consoles with a wireless DB9 adapter, which is included. So I'm wrong on that. That never happens. But I would be generally not tempted to get the 7800 Plus if I already had a 2600 Plus, if I was not utterly batcrap crazy. I am, of course. Therefore, of course, I bought the 7800 Plus. I'm kind of curious to see how they'll do with this, to be honest, because the 2600 is iconic. It has an iconic look. It really, it symbolized gaming throughout the 80s, especially for my mom, who called everything an Atari. You know what? I bet I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to check for it. I don't even notice it. I brush it off, but I wonder if she still calls things Ataris today. That's a nice Atari you got there. But anyway. Did I get it? Yes. Should you? If you didn't get the 2600 Plus, you might as well get this version of it. I'm going to assume it has all the upgrades, and the quality's been good. And before I wrap things up about this, I do want to mention that there's a bunch of people out there, it's too expensive and all this other stuff. And to be honest, it might be a little bit pricey, but it includes a game, a controller, and the device. And to be honest, the device is well built, and I do not want to see the quality go down for these. Uh, to lower the price, and that would be a real problem. And to be honest, yeah, you could get an emulator, handheld emulator, for like $60 and emulate the hell out of everything. That is true, and you get a screen, but it doesn't have the same kind of appeal as this does. And I get it. They're playing to your happy memories of childhood and everything else, but in the end, there's a market for that, and I'd rather pay more and have something like the 7800 Plus, which checks all the boxes for me, than have something like those the little Atari all-in-one boxes that they had years ago, which they're kind of cheap and kind of crummy. They weren't terrible or anything, but they just weren't they weren't the same. This is literally just an updated model of the 7800, and I would guess if somebody wanted a 7800, great way to get one. All right, I want to thank you very much for watching this. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more. What a freaking rant that was. Anyway, see you in a couple days. Bye.